Hi everybody and welcome to Simon on the Sofa with Shelley Sage Heart. Hey Shelley.
Hey there, Simon.
So for all of you Simon on the Sofa lovers, and this is a little something different, something new, something that I'm very proud to be bringing to you all. So I hope you enjoy it as much as me and Shelley have been putting this together. But basically we are taking a deep dive face to face with the confusion we are facing at this poignant junction on the planet. So myself and Shelley invite you to join us for this four-part series. Yes, it's going to be four conversations, evolutionary conversations, exploring what does it mean to emerge with new insight on relationship on all levels. So as we're evolving through this space between stories, which some of you are totally aware of, how can we script, how can you and I and Shelley and everybody else who comes on this call, how can we script a beautiful new story collectively in the midst of breakdown, social delusion, and environmental collapse? So, not to sound too negative by any means, but just to really say, would you join us? This is an introductory video to ask you to join us throughout the month of April with your questions and your inquiries as we build a collective round table, as it were, of conscious inquiry so that we can basically dive for our own pearls of insight where we may discover new pathways of truth together here on planet Earth. Yes. So, so, so in a nutshell, we've got four talks: the 7th of April, the 14th of April, the 21st of April, and the 28th of April. And it's going to be running always at the same time, 8 p.m. in Malta, which is 7 p.m. in the UK. It's going to be 11 a.m. PST and 2 p.m. EST, and that's the US. So yeah, and Shelley, please let them know the themes that we're going to be covering.
Great, thank you, Simon. So we're excited to introduce the four themes for this talk series. We wanted to keep the themes very simple and specific, and then allow our questions to flesh out and bring us into a fuller understanding of where we're headed and why we came to these themes. So the first theme is going to be woman, simply put. The second theme is going to be man. The third theme is relationships, children, and family. And the fourth theme, bringing it all home and sort of completing the cycle, is community and a new way of life with Gaia. And we saw different ways that those four themes sort of interlock and work together, but we feel very much face to face right now in the confusion of really how do all those aspects, how do those four themes work together to create a synergistic view and take us into a new level of being on the planet together. So we don't know. We're inviting you to join us in this conversation and begin to explore. A little bit about how we would like to conduct the conversations and how we would like to invite your participation is each conversation will be recorded live in a Google Hangout, and we would like you to join us for those live sessions. And we invite you to join us on chat and include your questions, include your reflections. Please participate with us in this experience, because it's time that we all engage and have an opportunity to allow ourselves to practice letting our voices and our inner wisdom be heard, received. And so that's part of what Simon and I are doing here, is we're practicing showing up And so we want to invite you to also join us in that practice. In order to assist all of us in sort of staying in the cycle of the conversations throughout the month of April, we'd like to invite you to join us on either Simon's website, which is simononthesofa.com, or mine, which is sunlightcircledesigns.com, and sign up for either one of our email lists, and that way we can send you the necessary updates and reminders that the shows are going to be coming up. And that'll be like one email a week. So we'll have total respect for your inbox and just be sending quick reminders each week. And I think that's it for now in terms of how that piece is going to go.
Yeah. Is it me now?
Yeah. It's your turn.
This is so awesome because it's such a first time that I've done a beautiful co-creation as collaboration as well, and for me it's wonderful that it's the month of April, it's spring, it's new beginnings. We've just moved through the equinox, the twilight, the free moons. It's been a mad planetary month that was leading up to my birthday, and now it feels that there's a real beautiful rebirth into April, and me and Shelley have been speaking about co-creating this for quite some time, since we've been sharing dialogues, sharing conversations, and they've always been very just deeply inquiring and very much showing up from different perspectives and honouring each other's space to just explore what comes out of the conversation. So one of the things we want to also say is that once if you come on this journey with us, or regardless, you pick up on the videos even after April, the key is that at the end of the month, and we've been taking your questions as well, because the dialogues are going to go pretty much like this. About 30 minutes or so, we're going to pose a couple of questions and we're going to dialogue around that, give or take, don't quote me on the exact time, but 40 minutes. Then we're going to take questions, live questions that arise on the night, that feel in alignment to whatever happens on the night. And then at the end of the month, at the end of April, what me and Shelley felt that we'd love to do, because we could start a forum, or we could have a group on Facebook or any other social media platform, but actually what we want to do then is we want to create a number of interactive webinars where we take the questions and whatever's arisen out of the month, and we maybe bring that into another medium, which is a bit more of an interactive webinar. So this is really an opportunity for you, the viewer, to be interactive with us, but to also really to get involved in your own dialogues around this. So you might connect with people on the message chat with us live on the week. Then you might feel that builds up some connections. But then also the invitation is that you may have it with your family, or your friends, or your circles, or your own gatherings, or create your own hangouts, whatever the invitation is free for you. So really, like we said, it's like a round table of conscious inquiry. I think that's was that summarized everything there, Shelley? And like Shelley said, the links will be below the videos for you to see where you can drop us your email, and we can keep you up to date with what's happening. Anything I missed there?
No, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Simon.
Awesome. So maybe just for this introduction, I think we'd love to also share with you, for you that maybe don't know me as Shelley and haven't been following our work over the last few years, and maybe you're fresh and new to Simon on the Sofa, might be nice if me and Shelley just finish on this introduction with a few minutes or so sharing with why we're even doing this. So, whatever comes up. What's coming up for you, Shelley? What should we share with the viewers on why are we doing this? What pulled us together to co-create this?
Yeah, thank you. I guess what I would like to say is that I have a profound, and probably for most of my life, a profound desire to be consciously and actively involved in supporting and creating new ways of being, like a new way of creating society. And I don't know if that came from my unique upbringing in which I lived alternatively. I was raised in a communal environment from an early age, and so my experience was so different from the normal everyday American lifestyle that when I actually we left the commune and I was brought out into everyday American life, and I had to go to public school and all those things, I was profoundly aware of just how distorted the culture was and the consciousness, in especially in the school system and as a young child. And so I've always been, there's an aspect of myself that's been sort of striving to regain that sense of like wholeness that I experienced as a young child, connection to the land, values and qualities that are different than what we often experience in the greater society. And throughout my life, on the journey of trying to be a part of reestablishing these changes, I've come to realize that a lot of the changes actually don't happen just from creating a society that isolates itself like a utopia outside of the rest of what's happening in the world, but that the shifts actually have to be more, come from a deeper place and rise up and sort of transform through all aspects of society. And really the way in which to do that is to start with the self. And now I'm at that point in my journey where I feel inspired to share and explore with you, Simon, and anyone else that wants to have conversations about how we can start to not only have acceptance for where we are at now on the planet, what's happening, how things are, but maybe what some of the changes or transformations that are possible, what those are.
Mm.
So that's a little bit about where I'm coming from, and I have one question for you, Simon.
Please.
What does face to face with the confusion mean to you?
Agree. I'm so happy that we come up with that name, face to face with the confusion, when we were dialoguing about this, because yeah, I think face to face with the confusion really means for me is that I feel until we are really fully able to embrace the confusion, that there's no clarity that is actually going to show itself. So for me, being face to face with the confusion is being face to face with the unknown, is being face to face with the transition that's taking place, and not just global transition, which we're both, and many of you watching this are aware of. You know, transition, you could say, is a constant in life. It's like change is a constant, but we all avoid it. And I think that whenever we really go into transition, or we go into change, and we really allow that to be what we are, we're constantly changing. Like even right now, I'm changing, and I'm not the same being as I was just a moment ago or yesterday. It's like constant information is coming my way, and I'm viewing the reality differently constantly. So actually, it's about embracing the unknown, embracing the confusion. It's about being okay in the transition. And also face to face for the confusion with me is really, if you want to bring it onto a practical level as well, is that nobody knows what's going on. because I've been researching, watching, listening, meeting people. You know, I do workshops, events. You know me, I've been out there talking to so many people, and you know, it's ultimately the new narratives are being written right now by us, by you watching this, by me and Shelley, by all of us, by the way that we choose to have conversation, by the way that we choose to communicate, connect, by the way that we view ourselves, by the way that we view reality, by the way that we open our eyes more clearly and say no to all the limiting beliefs and all the things we've upheld. So for me, it's like, wow, you know, we're in this really beautiful space of creation. I mean, you could say even taking back the power that we possess as individuals to then collectively birth reality. You know, and I'm going to throw this in there. I'd love to hear what your views are on what's come through so far, but it's like when we get ourselves out of the way and we get all our identity out of the way, it's like evolution is birthing itself through us. But within that, in that sort of insignificant but totally significant place, we can have conscious choice. Some of us have got to a place in our development where we can have conscious choice. And when I say that, I don't mean that I'm above anybody else or Shelley's above anybody else. We all have conscious choice, even when we're unaware that we're having conscious choice, if that makes sense. Often we're making choices unconsciously, just reacting. But actually, when you start to go, wow, how do I want to contribute to life? What do I want to put out there in the world? For me, that's where the ripples of co-creation really excite me. So yeah, I don't know if that even, does that give you an answer into what face-to-face the confusion means?
Yeah. And I want to say that I really appreciate the opportunity that posing that question brings for me. It's like, it's an opportunity to soften my ideas and my self-concepts about who I am or what I have to say or what's important to share, and instead start to receive the suggestion that you're offering, which is that something naturally wants to move through me as an organic expression of what I would call love. Like love naturally wants, love and evolution naturally wants to move through me. It's just a matter of, can I relax enough to let that come through, or maybe it's wisdom. Can I relax enough to let wisdom come through? Mm-hmm. And it's a tremendous opportunity to actually show up on camera and explore that with another person and with all of you who are going to be joining us on this journey. And so thank you, Simon, for inviting that kind of a spacious inquiry that takes, and I have to be honest, it takes a certain kind of courage to let go of needing or wanting to control the outcome, and instead allow an openness that can maybe take us to some new places.
Yeah.
I have to admit there's a little like, there's a little like, whoa, kind of a feeling about it. Yeah. What I mean is that there's a vulnerability in the very inquiry.
Yeah. And thank you for highlighting that, because even as I was speaking, you feel that vulnerability. I feel it in my chest and in my solar plexus, and I feel that vulnerability. But there's a real beautiful, playful, spacious, liberated feeling in that of knowing that we can show up not needing to know, and that we can, like anybody else can, we can ask these potent questions and we can see what arises. And you said something lovely, which we've had this experience when we both shared before, is that when we're willing just to keep showing up and asking, is that true? Is that true? What does that feel like? And we can explore that together. It really, for me, it really, maybe the word power can scare people sometimes, but it really gives, for me, that sense of owning and taking responsibility of who we are as individuals, because we are actually already enough. And I know I say that, a lot of people maybe watching these talks always hear me say that, but we are already enough. If anything, we're often seeking outside of ourselves that which we already have within us, that is already here. That's part of you could say, the journey of self-discovery or self-mastery, just this deep inquiry into what it means to be alive. And I think that what I love that we've both done on this, Shelley, and I love how we got to that place of keeping it very simple: man, woman, family, children, relationship, planet. And I think you agree with this, is because we danced with some bigger names and maybe thought of some catchy names, but actually at the crux of it, what does it mean to be those in that simplest form, come back to that space, and then see what arises. So yeah, so without, I suppose me and you could continue, but I think maybe for this introduction you could wrap it up, and then we could let people, if they're intrigued by what we've shared, that you guys out there watching might like to, yeah, just like Shelley said, come on this inquiry with us. And self-inquiry and just personal inquiry, it's been so transformational for me. It's part of my daily life. So I really, asking potent questions, is an amazing and a beautiful experience. So you're gonna finish off?
Oh, okay.
I was waiting attentively for you to say goodbye.
Thank you.
But if you want to round off, you can round off with something if you want to.
Okay. Thank you, Simon. I was sort of residing in that place of like I'm still in the vulnerable. There's an aspect of my personality that's still grappling with the invitation that I am enough, and that there doesn't have to be more, and there doesn't even necessarily have to be a scripted ending to this intro video. Exactly. And to relax into the playfulness of that. So that's, and this is an opportunity for all of you to witness me in that energy, and then I would just like to close with an invitation to come on this journey with us in the next 4 weeks, and to find out more, and to read through the themes again, and to we also have 2 questions that accompany each theme. So we'll begin with those questions, and then we'll deepen together as we evolve through the month. So again, just would like to remind you, SimonOnTheSofa.com, SunlightCircleDesigns.com. Please check us out there, and we look forward to journeying with you. Thank you. And thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Shelley. And I'm just going to say to you guys watching, thank you for watching this video. And if for any reason you don't want to leave your email address, or you don't want to come over to the websites, if you subscribe on the YouTube, which is on the button below the videos, if you subscribe to the YouTube page, then I believe every time you get a new video goes live, you will get a notification anyway. So you may even want to just pick up with each talk as it goes live in that way. It's totally whatever flows for you. So wherever you are in the world, thank you for showing up at this time. Thank you for being here. You're a unique manifestation of life, whether you choose to believe that or not. There's no other being like you ever being created, ever will be created, and expressing itself in the way that you are expressing life right now. If that's not enough reason just to sit down and go, breathe that in and just go, wow, I'm alive, then personally I don't know what is, but obviously that's only my little projection of how I am so overwhelmingly blown away of being alive. So take care. Thanks for being here. Love to you, Shelley. Thank you for being a beautiful support in this co-creation, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye, everybody.